This week we take a look at the new hybrid EVF and field monitor from SmallHD and show you how to relight outdoors on a budget. DVTV starts right now.
This episode is made possible in part by JAG35 Affordable Solutions for Filmmakers, Manhattan LCD, the affordable solution for high-definition monitoring, Lightcraft Workshop, the perfect tools to create the perfect image, CheesyCam.com, the latest gear reviews and DIY video and photo projects.
Hey guys, welcome to a brand new episode of DVTV. I am your host, Tony Reale, and today we're going to be reviewing the SmallHD DP4 EVF from SmallHD. So, of course, in honor of that, I'm wearing my SmallHD shirt because it's really comfortable. Got it at NAB. Some NAB swag, so comfy. All right, so let's get into this. The DP4 EVF is a really sweet piece of gear. It is built like a tank. Thing's heavy duty, got a fully aluminum chassis as opposed to some of the plastic other models out there. This thing is built well. Now, of course, because it's all aluminum, all metal, it almost feels too good to be true. Like, oh, if I'm gonna drop this, it's gonna break because it's just so fancy schmancy. But truth is, it actually performs pretty darn well. If you don't believe me, you can check out SmallHD. They've done their drop tests to prove it. Used it as a little frisbee golf. So it's pretty cool. Now the screen, that is a beauty in and of itself. That's one of the main reasons I went with this model as opposed to some of the other ones out there. Now, I'm not going to bash some of the other ones out there. They have their own individual advantages, but the big advantage to the DP4 is, of course, its 4.3-inch screen. Now, most other EVFs are on the 3-inch size, which is about the same size as the LCD screen on the back of most DSLRs or the little pop-out LCD screen on most video cameras. So you're not really getting that much more size advantage. You're just basically getting a positionable EVF with most other models. But the SmallHD DP4, on the other hand, has a much larger screen. And this does translate into easier to see viewing angles. I remember when I first got my 5.6-inch monitor, after working with larger monitors, I was a little skeptical. Is this going to work well? And I fell in love with the 5.6-inch size very quickly. Now I've got a 4.3-inch size. How do I like that? Well, I like it if I'm within about 3 feet. And I'm just talking about using the monitor, not the EVF right now. If I'm within about 3 foot distance, I can set focus on there pretty darn well. A lot more accurately with that than I could just from the back of my camera or the built-in LCD screen of most video cameras. So having that extra couple inches is a benefit. Of course, by using the DP4 and using SmallHD software, you not only have a movable monitor, but you of course have all the pro features that you would expect in a field monitor. You have the false color, you've got focus assist, you've got scaling for DSLRs, and tons more options. The menu is just jam-packed with stuff that I haven't even had a chance to even test out all completely. But it does work very well. Now, when it comes to the DSLR scaling options, the navigating that couldn't be any easier, and that's because they have it right on the little top dial there. So you want to switch from DSLR record mode, you just go over in your little dial, and then the menu pops up for that. And if you want to go back to DSLR playback, you just click over and you're right back there. Very quick navigation, and that's really nice because then you don't have to go through a buried menu to get there. But the fun doesn't stop there. Add the loop attachment and you've got yourself a full electronic viewfinder. The nice thing about this option is you have a functional field monitor or a fully functional EVF. And it's nice that you don't have to compromise between those two options. They do include lots of accessories, one of which is a screen protector, which works both on the field monitor by itself or with the EVF attachment. They kind of have these little grooves in there that allow the EVF to slap right on top of there. It's quick and easy to disattach the EVF if you want to, and you can obviously pop it up. They have these high-powered magnets both at the top and on the inside to keep the EVF in position where you need it, whether you need it up or down. And the build of the hinge is actually pretty heavy duty, so you can even lift it up just a little bit and it'll stay there pretty darn well. For battery options, they have lots of backplates to choose from. I went with the LPE6 battery option since I happen to have lots of those batteries. And you can either use 1 or 2 batteries. With 2 batteries, they estimate about a 6-hour runtime, and I found that to be relatively accurate from my personal use. Now, one thing that any EVF can't leave home without is a HDMI pass-through, and this does have that. This allows you to basically use a secondary monitor if you want, or if you are using a camera like the FS100, AF100, something that supports a nano flash or external recorder that goes through HDMI, you can pass that signal right onto your recorder and just still be able to use your EVF on there. I will say there's a couple things I'm not a big fan of with this monitor. One, of course, is the heat. It does get quite warm. Now that is because it is basically a larger monitor than most other EVFs, and they're cramming a lot of stuff into a small package. So heat is to be expected, but it is something to be aware of. Another issue that I've been running into is a slight ghosting that happens when I go from something very white, like text from a info screen, then to another image. So say I'm in info and then I hit record on my DSLR and then it goes to the regular recording. I see a little ghosting that happens just a little bit. Again, this isn't something that is a huge deal breaker to me, and it doesn't seem to happen all the time, but it just happens sometimes, and it's something to be aware of. So all in all, I have to say that the DP4 EVF is one of my favorite pieces of equipment that I have on my camera now. It is a solid EVF, well built, tons of features, and it all comes in a very small package. Of course, the fact that it is also a functional field monitor is great, because there are times where I can't cram my eye right up against an EVF, and I can quickly take off that EVF attachment and still have a field monitor without having to switch to my 5.6. Of course, there are times where I will still need my 5.6-inch monitor if I'm on a jib or I'm further distance than about 3 feet. So I won't say that this is the end-all monitor, but it is definitely a great package, and the price is right in my opinion.
This episode is made possible in part by CPM Film Tools, your lightweight solution for caging the beast. Blackbird Camera Stabilizer, designed to be easy to use with great performance. Rode Microphones. SmallHD, the world's smallest high-definition monitors.
Yes, good summer day here in Green Bay, and I think it's a great time to discuss how to basically relight an outdoor scene on a very, very limited budget. If you look at Hollywood scenes, you'll see that they bring in giant flags and just huge silks. You'll see 12 by 12s or 24 by 24 foot giant silks and HMIs to relight. Well, most people don't have that budget, and so we're going to show you how to do a really simple, basic interview outdoors, but have it actually look nice and not look overexposed. Right here, it is 1:30 on a regular weekday. Sun is right there. This is just the worst kind of lighting to work with. Usually you want to use golden hour lighting, which would have the sun almost setting. Beautiful time to shoot, but we're not going to do that. We're going to show you how to relight in case this is the only time that your client has to shoot or you have to shoot. So let's go ahead and show you how we have our setup here. First thing I'll do is go over my camera rig, because I know you guys are going to be asking me about that. This is my current setup. I'm using the CPM Film Tools cubed rig. I have, of course, the DP4 EVF, and I've got the defocus, follow focus here. This is just a generic matte box, and because we're outdoors, I'm shooting with the Lightcraft Workshop Fader ND and Rode Video mic and everything, and this is the Manfrotto 504 HD fluid head. So that's the rig that I'm using here. Now let me show you how we've got things set up for lighting the scene. Here I've got a Avenger arm, and this is just basically a light stand with a scrim jim on top, and this is a 36 by 36 inch scrim jim. Now again, you don't have to buy these, you could make them yourself. You can get cheap ripstop nylon, and you could do that. I have the frame because it's a little more durable than a home-built one, and of course a little bit more professional looking when you show up on a shoot. Over here we just have a basic 5-in-1 reflector. You know, you've got white on one side, gold, silver, black, and then a diffuser just like this on the inside frame. And to hold it, to angle it out because the sun's coming at such a harsh angle, I'm using some A-clamps to clamp it on, and then one to kind of create a little bit of angle right there. So that's our very basic setup, and of course we have sandbags on the ground. Sandbags are for safety because this is kind of heavy and I don't want it smacking John in the head, because that would be counterproductive. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and slap the camera on sticks. I'm gonna show you the shoot and I'm gonna show you what the result is. All right, so now we're set up. We've got John in position. We've got the camera set up. I'm shooting at 160 ISO, and I've got it at f4, and I think we're about 100 mil, somewhere around 100 millimeter. And this is on the Canon 60D, so it's gonna be your 1.6 crop. So it's gonna be a little tighter than it would be on a 5D Mark II. But overall, this is a good setup. And now we're gonna go ahead and hit record. And John's gonna do a sexy reveal. Oh yeah, that's the stuff right there, baby. Yeah. So as you can see, the shade from the silk is creating a nice even light over the top, kind of an overall fill light. And we're using the gold reflector as basically a redirect of this key light, which is the brightest light on it. We could use the silver reflector. We're using the gold just to kind of add a little bit of a warmth to the tone. Now, if you step forward, we're just have him step all the way out of that. And now you can see, I've got to kind of adjust my f-stop, but you can see how now take your sunglasses off again, John. You can see, not only is the sun incredibly bright, but you're getting those deep eye sockets, which is unflattering, and it looks like you're shooting outdoors. So again, step backwards, John. And I'll get my focus set and open up my iris back to f4, and bam, there we go. That looks really nice soft light. You can even see, now take your glasses off again. You can see the light in the eyes if he opens his eyes a little bit. There you go. And that's what you want. You don't want to lose light in just deep eye sockets, because then the person loses all personality. And John already has too little personality as it is. So there you go. So that's a really basic setup. Again, if you want to do this on a larger scale, we're doing this for a basic interview. If you want to do it on a larger scale, you could theoretically have a bigger silk and you could have more reflectors. But it's a great example of not having to try and get super expensive HMI lights to try and relight a scene, just using the sun to your advantage. Now, if you're on a cloudy day, you might not even need a reflector at all or any of this stuff. You could just be shooting just using the natural clouds as your own diffusion. But if you do want to have a brighter light on the cloudy day, that's where you will need an HMI to replace that bright sunlight.
Want more Next Wave DV in your life? Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube to be notified when the next episode airs. Visit our website for daily posts on the latest digital video news. Like us on Facebook to join the Next Wave DV community, and follow us on Twitter for behind-the-scenes news and pictures.